Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. We are happy to be back with Erin MacNeil, our founder and CEO of the Spa Business Coach. Yeah, that's what she does too. And as a coach, she's working for med spas, aesthetic practices, and owners all over. She's based out of Canada, but can help you anywhere around the world. And she does do platforms virtually, also coaching, focusing on financials, operations, leadership, and so much more. Welcome back to the show today. How are you?
I'm doing well, Jill. How are you?
I'm great. I hope the summer's been treating you well. You look great, little refreshed. I know in your business of, the spa world, things are a little slower, right?
Yeah, typically things do slow down a bit over summer. And I just think in general, if you live in North America, June through August is really like everyone's working about 70 to 75% instead of 100%. And I think everyone just kind of acknowledges that like we're all just taking it a little bit slower. There's only a few states that really experience this kind of weather all year round. And there's something about sunshine that just makes us want to be outdoors and not stuck at our desks.
So
So
true.
yeah, it's a little bit slower right now, and we're gearing up to pick back up in another 5 to 6 weeks. So
That's right. We're going to talk about that today. First, I just want to remind everyone the spabusinesscoach.com. I know that's your website. Any other form of contact you want to share?
oh, well, I do daily content on Instagram at the Spa Business Coach. I'm always, talking about problems that we solve or helping to bring some value. I also am on YouTube where you can watch some long form stuff. And it's the same handle at the Spa Business Coach. So we try to keep it simple. Everything is at the Spa Business Coach on all the socials.
Perfect. And also a little bit about the background of the work you're doing and the types of, people that you're working with.
Absolutely. So we do focus coaching for med spas, aesthetic practices. So we work with a lot of injectors and traditional spas, resort spas. So if you're in the beauty industry, we have a digital platform that we have our signature 8 week program that is really designed to help you get from where you're at to 50K a month or better, get you on that road to the $1 million a year. And we also are releasing something come mid-August. So if anyone is interested and you're making 0 to 10K, you're just starting out, we're going to be releasing something mid-month next month. So we do focus coaching for med spas, regular spas, nurse injectors, and aesthetic practices.
Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome. And I know like here we have a little bit of the slow season, but it's starting to pick up, right? August is here. What happens in the month of August now? Give us the little lowdown of, what you do as a team, as a business, and spa owners are all over the world. What's happening now in the month of August?
So August is one of those months where people are still, working at a slower pace, but really starting to think about in our industry, this is what we would call recruitment season. And so this happens 2 to 3 times a year. And August is one of those months that you really want to look at your data, look at your numbers and your financials, not just for this year, but you want to review where you were at for the last 4 months of last year. That way, you can look at what positions do I have to fill? How many people extra maybe do I need on my team so that I can fulfill this year's business demand? Because hopefully you've grown a little bit from last year, which means typically if you were at a higher utilization, you will need to add some bodies in your practice to be able to field the business that's coming your way. So recruitment is top of mind coming into the close of summer.
Well, then let me ask you the recruitment process now. You're looking for what types of positions? What are they trying to fill exactly?
So typically, when this portion of recruitment process is usually service providers, unless you're a newer startup business where you're the sole provider, you may want to be looking at having a virtual assistant or an in-person reception or admin assistant going into the busier season. So right now you want to be looking for who is that person and what their job description will be. But if you're an already established business and you notice that you're on a growth trajectory over last year, you're probably going to need more people on your team. So you're going to want to look for other revenue generating positions. So that's probably estheticians, injectors, and other providers for your practice.
Now, let me ask you, there's certain in the spa world, I know we talked about how things are slow in a sense. People do less treatments in the summer because they're more exposed to the sun, they're out more. But your prime time, I guess you start picking up in the fall, right?
Yeah.
And now's a perfect time though to also get customers in. So do you start thinking, strategizing what type of back to school specials and mom's got to focus, the self-care comes back, the kids back to school, all those types of things are brainstormed as well now at this point in time?
100%. So we talked about this kind of all through the month of June and July, which is don't take your foot off of the gas when it comes to your marketing. But you're absolutely right, Jill. In August, what you want to be thinking about since we're toward the end of July is what marketing strategies am I going to put in place that are more seasonal, that really give that sense of urgency or really help solve a problem around where we're at in the season. So, exactly what you said. Think about all the kids going into high school, all of the teenagers who are going back into high school, all of the young folks who are going off to college. First of all, we want to think about, okay, well, where are they at in their skincare journey? A lot of them want to look good and feel good going back to school or going into a new school. So that's definitely a target. And also, as you mentioned, a lot of the parents, they're going to be back on their regular schedule. They're done with their cottaging, they're done with their, seasonal vacations. And so they're going to want to get back into their regular routines. And so when you think about marketing, you want to understand where are your customers right now in their mindset? What are they focused on? Because if you can get into that mindset and tap into where they're at, you want to create marketing that is going to appeal to where they're at right now, as opposed to what you think, you should put on promotion. So you want to get inside the minds of who your customer is and what they're dealing with right now. That way they have more urgency to say, oh my gosh, this solves a problem for me. So I need to purchase it. So I always say never take your foot off the gas with marketing, but always ride the seasonal wave because that's what's going to be top of mind for people. So back to school, back to work for those folks who have, most of their vacation in the summer. So back to work, getting back into your routine and gearing up for fall.
All right. Well, I love the fall. It's the best part of the year, and I know things get busy. So, what else, are people doing in the business and they could benefit from now? Maybe there's someone out there who owns a spa that's listening, med spa, or works for someone. The benefits of having a coach like you. I would love to talk more about these benefits. Someone who doesn't work with someone like yourself yet.
So this is also something that we're promoting right now. When we look at essentially when summer is over, for all intents purpose, there are 4 months left of the year. And what we start to hone in on is as business owners is, am I meeting my numbers? Am I meeting my targets? Am I meeting my goals? And if not, how am I going to level up? How am I going to jumpstart to get closer to my goal and or just position myself to finish the year strong, knowing that Q4 is when our industry profits the most. And so our signature 8-week program, we are highlighting this right now because if you're to join, you will complete August and September. It's designed to be 8 weeks. And so that actually will set you up for success going into Q4 as of, let's say, October 1st. So if you are struggling or you're not meeting your goals or you're feeling lost or you don't have a lot of direction and you literally are just like, I wish someone would just tell me what I'm supposed to do so then I can just do it and I can take the guesswork out. This is the program for you. So if your beauty business or your spa business is already making $10,000 a month or more, this is the program that's going to get you the exercises you need to understand where you're at financially to make better decisions, create a smoother operation, and start hiring out your dream team.
The dream team is amazing. And working with different spas now, all different types of sizes, right? Could you just share the mom and pop, the small, the big, the large? People also may be intimidated saying, well, I really don't need a coach. I have a small operation here. It's just a few of us, but those are the ones that may benefit most. So could you share that aspect? I know we touched on it before, but it is a new show. There's new people listening today.
100%. Yeah. And it's so interesting because the way we come across clients, they're on either end of the spectrum is when they don't believe they need coaching. And so it's the people who believe they're too small or they're not there yet. But the whole point of it is that you're never going to get there if you don't have the right steps. So if you're just starting out and you're brand new, we have an offer launching in mid-August that's going to help you generate more sales, get more cash in that bank account so you can join our 8-week program and start to make that business generate 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month. And the interesting part is people on the opposite end of the spectrum where they're earning 100,000, 150,000 a month. They also say, I don't think I need a coach. We're doing great with money and generating revenue, so I don't think I need any help. However, some of the problems that we see that are happening more at that level is they can't keep staff. Retaining staff is very difficult. Leadership is difficult. Culture and communication inside the business isn't as healthy as it can be. And not every team member is truly thriving or reaching their potential in that practice. So typically, it's two different sets of problems on either end of the spectrum, but we help from 0 to 5K a month, all the way from 100K a month plus. So we have clients who are in the multi-million-dollar a year type of practice. And we have clients that are just starting out that are, they only have 10 clients. So we help kind of everyone, and we have a retainer or some kind of program for each level.
And let's remind everyone how we can reach out to you at this time. Erin, please just give us, the Instagram, the handle, and
Yeah,
website, of course.
absolutely. So you can reach me on all the socials at the Spa Business Coach. So on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and our website is www.thespabusinesscoach.com.
Well, thank you for sharing this and any other inside knacks for what's happening next month. Well, next month, it's 5 days from now. My goodness.
I know.
Is there any like Christmas and July specials? Did we miss that because it was like halfway to the holiday?
So this is another great one that I see a great marketing. And I actually just received a text from, I follow a lot of like fitness apparel companies, and I just got the text this morning, Christmas in July. And so I think that that is an amazing marketing strategy, especially for those spas or med spas that have been a little bit struggling to maintain revenue or create profitability over the summer. Is it's a great time to put things on promotion, one that you want to get rid of, that might be expiring, whether that's retail product or different facial product that you just want to sell more facials to get through that product so you can order fresh stuff. But I think also it's a way to engage back with the clients that have maybe kind of fallen between the cracks over the last couple months. I don't necessarily recommend an event per se. Maybe if it's a virtual event where it's around a promotion or a feature that you have, events tend to fall a little bit flat in the summertime because people are already still preoccupied. But I think running with Christmas in July, I've seen a lot of success with that, or even Christmas in August if you want. And you really want to focus in on locking in clients who will be doing packages with you that will carry them through the winter season so that they repurchase come January or February, right? So that you really strategically understand that if I get them to purchase in July or August, this is going to be my repeat package come January or February. So something that is going to stretch them through the winter months. And what we see very often is a lot of clients, they just want answers. They just want direction. They just say, tell me what I've got to do. So if our clients are saying that, we can assume other clients want it as well. So when you have clients coming into your med spa and you assume they're going to ask you or they're going to tell you what they want, you might be mistaken. So it's really good to give a lot of direction and say, I know that you came in for this one facial today, but what we would recommend is doing a series of 5 that will carry you through to the end of the year, and you don't have to think about your skincare until next year. How does that sound? So it really helps to take the guesswork out of it for the client, and it's an easy path of least resistance for the client to say yes.
Interesting. I love it. I love it. And I just can't wait. You know, I feel like skincare is like near and dear. It's coming up soon. It's like the high season of the fall. It's everyone starts getting back into it. And I go back to my local place and see my friends and it feels so good. By the way, just a
Yeah.
little bit about your background and why you're here. Tell us what, how you got this job, how you started this company, because what were you doing earlier, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, absolutely. So my story is a bit unique in the sense that I started out as an esthetician and a laser tech, and I worked my way up through working with a med spa that was very large in Canada. So I became a trainer and then a manager and a regional manager. And I eventually left Canada in 2012 and I went and moved overseas. And when I was overseas, I actually took all of that skill set and began a career in resort spas and luxury spas in hotels. And I worked with that particular company, a global luxury hotel group, for 8 years, traveled 5 different countries, lived and worked in them as a spa director. And so I've seen my fair share of, the different challenges of running a team, owning a business, trying to create sales, trying to create profit, trying to keep people happy. And so through all of that, I decided in, 3 short years ago, I was going to bottle up all of that knowledge because there are so many people who own beauty businesses. They own spas, they own med spas, they're a nurse injector, and they don't have the same business acumen that is needed to grow and scale a business. And so that's why I decided to put it all together in a digital platform to be able to teach an everyday, ordinary person how to have an extraordinary business. And that's what we do now. I took my 20 years, bottled it all up, and we really focus on three pillars inside of our signature program, which is financials and numbers, operations, and team building and leadership. Those three pillars, no matter what project I was working on or whatever country I was in, if the spa wasn't doing well or it was losing money or failing, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote, there were those three major pillars that I saw come up over and over and over again. So that's how I built out the program, was based on those three main pillars of challenge. How do you learn all the data, the analytics, the
Mm-hmm.
numbers, apply it to your operation to make it smooth with systems that create repeatable business and predictable income? And how do you, now that you have your numbers and your business is running smooth, how do you keep your team? How do you grow your team and tap into their potential? So those were three things kind of in that order that I would do every recovery project I worked on to help turn it around. I bottled everything up and put it inside our digital program.
Wow. Hold on, I gotta ask you something. I saw something
Yes.
on your Instagram page and I'm just curious about it because it says, hot take, flooding your feed with before and after photos is not a marketing strategy. It's actually hindering your ability to make sales. This is something new. Tell me about this. I see that all the time. I see the before and the afters.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, before and afters are important. But if you believe that that's the only thing that clients want to make a decision to work with you,
What
you're
is
wrong,
going on? Got it.
right? And the reason why is because they'll see the before and after, but they want to understand the story. They want to understand how many treatments, when, why, how do I do all of this? Who are you? How did you come to get this good? So they want the full picture. So don't just flood with before and afters, right? You want to do before and afters with a little bit of storytelling and walking clients through so that you are bringing value to them and positioning yourself as an expert.
And, to work with you to increase profitability, that's the goal here, right? Because even you had another client result post about like going from 40K to 70K. Holy cow, what's going on here? This is good stuff. People can really help benefit themselves. Now, let me ask you this, as a spa
Yes.
coach, if they hire you and things aren't improving, which I'm sure hasn't happened, but if it does, I mean, you would have an honest conversation with them, saying, okay, maybe it's not for you. But has that ever happened in your business yet?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So there's two reasons why this happens. One is I have a propensity to help everybody and recognizing sometimes I can't
Mm.
help everyone, right? And I can't want your outcome to be better than what you want it to be. So slowly over time, I do learn that, but I have had clients that it's almost like they interviewed really well. So we always have a call to figure out, are you the right fit for this program? And there have been a couple times where they were so keen in that initial conversation. So I said, you know what, you're a great fit for this program. And then they just didn't show up. They didn't do the work. They went missing when it was time to have our one-to-one calls. I couldn't get a hold of them. And so that's the other reason why it wouldn't work. It doesn't work if you don't work the program, right? And so it's not
Yeah.
that you hire me and I do all of the work for you. The whole point of coaching and why I distinctly like anyone who's interested and they say, okay, Erin, I want to hire you as a consultant. And I remind people, I don't do consultancy. The reason why is I want to transfer my skill set to you. And typically or historically, consultants are going to go in and fix a problem for you and then leave. As a coach, I'm here to teach you the skills to fix the problem so that when you're done, you know how to do it again on your own and you don't need me anymore. And so yeah, it's interesting. The ones who haven't really worked out, eventually there's a couple that have come back that said, you know what, the first time around, I wasn't really serious. I thought it was going to be really, really easy. But the fact is, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner. There is not a business owner, I would assume, in the early days that say, you know what, this was a piece of cake. It took no time. I had no challenges. It was no problem. And I invested zero energy. Almost no one who is a first time entrepreneur or business owner. And I stress first time because after you've owned one, two, three businesses, you can start off quite easily because you've been through it before. So you know what to do.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think that's, it's very important that people understand that when you join a program, mine or any, you really have to put in the time and the effort, right? So I always remind people, I'm the coach and you're the player. So I help you figure out the play and you get on the field and make the play. I help you with the strategy to know what to execute, but you actually have to go out and execute. I can't do that for you. And especially digitally, right? If there's an exercise that has to be done, I can't just pop into your location and do it for you. But even if I did, I'm robbing you of the opportunity to learn a new skill that would give you more longevity. So I try to push people to understand that they want or should want to acquire the skill more than they want me to just hand them the answer. So there are some clients who make some concessions for, right, that need a bit more handholding, which I'm totally okay with. But I always say the reason why the program wouldn't work is if you decided not to show up.
Got it. Got it. And then also as the entrepreneur, the business owner, aren't sometimes they're just overwhelmed. There a lot of times people sign on to a business like my girlfriend, and she's not only doing her own secretarial work, she's booking the calls, the appointments, she's on the Calendly, setting out the emails. She's also the one doing the treatments. Like sometimes people get overwhelmed and take upon too much as the owner because they're not sure of the cost and how, but you need to have a team, right? And it's got to be hard to also let go as an entrepreneur because it's like you want things a certain way. So how important is it to find people that are so trustworthy that you can, relate to and actually work with these days?
I yeah, it can be difficult. Here's where I see the biggest difficulty is where you find a candidate that's pretty good. They might not be excellent or over the top amazing, but they're pretty good and they're keen to learn and they're invested to a certain degree. If you inside your business don't have a clear company handbook with brand standards, with vision, mission, values, giving clear direction, giving clear feedback and clear expectations, even the best players fail in that situation because for a time they will be okay to, take the initiative on their own, but eventually they need leadership or they want feedback or they want to know that they're doing a good job. So, yes, you can, start a business and it does feel overwhelming, but this is why we focus on in the operations part systems. So talking about your girlfriend there, right? It's like she's trying to spin 17 plates at the same time.
Yeah.
Thankfully, in 2024,
Juggling all the balls,
right?
like it keeps going and falling and falling.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what I
And
picture.
we
Yeah.
have there are lots of solutions that you can implement in your business to help create automations to make certain things like it just gives you your time back. Also, I find people who don't have a clear strategic direction, also they lose time because of paralysis of decision making. They're like, oh, I know I got to get to that, but they end up being busy but not productive. And so I think you're absolutely right when you say that, people want it done a certain way. So therefore, like the trust factor to let things go is very, very low, right? They're thinking, okay, nobody can do it like I do it. And I highlight this also on my Instagram. That's if you believe that you're the only person who can do it, you better also be ready to be the only person working in your business. Because if you don't learn to delegate and trust, because there will be mistakes, you will never get out of the saddle, right? You will always be the person doing all the things, which is why if you have systems, standards, and structure, you can hire people and you guide them through your system, standards, and structure so that it helps transition them into a level of performance that matches your expectation.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this great conversation today. We're
Absolutely.
just about out of time in our last minute together. Let's remind everyone why they need to contact you.
Oh, well, we are definitely. Well, let's talk about pain points, right?
Yeah,
So you need to contact us if you're feeling lost, you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't feel like you have a right direction, you just feel somewhat like an imposter, like a fraud. It doesn't matter. It happens to
yeah.
everyone from making 5K a month to
Hmm.
500K a month. There are people out there that have great businesses that still struggle and feel anxiety around being a business owner. So if you want some clear direction, clear solutions, and the path forward to make things simpler for you in the future, not necessarily easier, but simpler, we're the business for you. We're the coach for you. And we've got systems and we've got digital offers for everyone at every level of business.
Perfect. And how do we find you one more time?
On all the socials at the Spa Business Coach, and you can find us. Our website is thespabusinesscoach.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you back here as always. And we'll talk
Thank you.
again soon, I hope. Okay.
Yes, take care.
You look great, sweetheart. Thanks again. And get ready. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get back into your business. All right, into my friend's business to like get treated. All right. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great day.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.